You're watching Dr. Amir Sankofa Kwele live. Make sure you stay tuned, hit that like button, and subscribe. It's going down.
Greetings and salutations and peace on the human race. Hi everyone listening to my wonderful voice. How's it going, everyone? Today is certainly a very happy and productive day. I've gotten so much done within the past morning or so. I'm waiting on one of my clients to give me a call so she can get her reading. So I'm not going to say her name, but hopefully she will be giving me a call pretty soon. So without further ado, I basically wanted to talk, and I said healing, 5 ways to heal. Now, what exactly was I talking about healing from? And I am talking about healing from relationships. Because it's not just a relationship where you are intimate with a partner, where you have a partner, you guys are intimate, but it's also when you have to heal from a relationship dissolve, because relationships do dissolve. And we definitely need healing from those as well. We don't really talk about that. We talk about mainly healing from when you're in a relationship with someone and it doesn't work out, when you're intimate, when you have a partner, when you're married and you're getting a divorce, or we talk about the kind where you're boyfriend and girlfriend and you have to heal from the relationship, or you're dating, or you're in a situationship, because we also have to heal from those, because situationships are also extreme, even if you all are having a different wavelength, that you may feel like you're in a relationship with that particular party and they're not in a relationship with you. So that also requires healing as well, which is not talked about as much. So normally when you are going through a relationship, a person just says, if you think you're in a relationship and that person's not in a relationship with you, the person would just normally discard your feelings and say, well, hey, it wasn't even that heavy and it's pretty much over with. Goodbye, have a nice life, deuces, and they throw their middle fingers up. And of course you are moved, and of course you are standing there in the dirt with your Debbie Downer energy, or with your Debbie Ed energy, what have you. Bottom line is that your feelings are hurt, okay? And the bottom line is that still has to be some type of healing that does take place. And a lot of times people do make light of our feelings. People do. And so we're not going to play a game of people always taking a relationship that you took seriously. Okay. So if any of these apply in any shape or form, then we're going to discuss 5 ways that we can heal. Number 1, acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge that you are in this situationship and or relationship, or it's over. You have to acknowledge that it's over. You have to acknowledge that this friendship is over. You have to acknowledge that you all have come to a part in the road road where it's over, and you have to acknowledge that, you have to deal with that, and you have to occupy your time. Because once you make, let's say that you had this friend, this best friend, and let's say that you all spent a lot of time together where y'all would talk every day, and now you have these hours free. So I would always recommend people getting a hobby, and understanding that sometimes it's not always attaching yourself onto another friend or attaching yourself onto another entity, but more or less focusing on yourself, focusing on things that can certainly make you happy, that can help you to go to the next level in your life. So maybe creating a business, maybe creating a business, maybe creating a hobby, maybe creating something that will make you happy, maybe reading, maybe picking up a book and reading. Um, I don't think necessarily YouTube is always the place to be. Maybe looking at YouTube. Maybe that's something that you want to do. That could also be something. But I would certainly figure out what you can do with that time that you spent all with that particular entity. Or you spent all that time with that particular person that you talk to every day, right? Probably even a couple of hours. So I will occupy my time. So finding a hobby, maybe creating a business, maybe watching, some entertainment, maybe watching movies, maybe watching a video, maybe going out and really enjoying yourself, really connecting to just life, living life. So I would always recommend people to live life. And I think not enough of us are living life because, the world did shut down, right? The world did shut down. And because the world shutting down, a lot of people began to start looking at life a little bit differently. And now some of us have been forced to be by ourselves, whereas we were never really used to being by ourselves. So this is a time now where we have to really look at, now the world is beginning to open up now. So now we can be a little bit more social butterflies as opposed to where we were before. But hopefully during this time frame that most of us was at home and we didn't have as much communication or as much social contact with people, that we will understand now to utilize that time. We will now understand to be more with ourselves. Because again, unless you were a twin, majority of us in the world was born alone. And I'm not telling people you should be alone. I'm just telling you the same way I would tell a person that was in a committed relationship or intimate relationship with someone, I would tell a particular person as well that is healing from a friendship that dissolved. I would tell them the same thing. Don't jump back into another friendship. Don't just rely on that one friend that you probably didn't like as much and hang out and start occupying your time, because you have to figure out other things to do with your time. Okay. So I know that's really a hard pill to swallow for most of us. That's really hard to tell someone to get a life, but get a life. Go out into nature, go out into the world and smell the air, smell the people, enjoy life. Life is made to be lived, and most of us are afraid of living this life. Most of us are afraid of acknowledging who we are, and some friendships were pretty much meant to come to an end in the first place. Then after you do that, you need to establish why the friendship ended. Like, was it your fault? Was it the person's fault? Did anybody cause it? Was anybody held responsible, or is it just I mean, it was just time in the season. It was time to end, and you both actually outgrew each other, and it was neither person's fault. It's just you are into a different lifestyle than that other particular person. The other person might be into a reckless lifestyle. They might be on drugs, or they might have just they married a person that was not really that was abusive to them. It's a lot of different reasons, but either way, you got to come to terms with why did the friendship end, okay? And so think about all the mistakes or all the things within the friendship that occurred. Remember, and then go back to the warning signs. What were the warning signs? Didn't your mother or didn't a particular person or people around you say, I don't think you should be friends with Candy? Because Candy's not really your kind of person. I don't really see you with Candy. You know what I mean? Candy is kind of, well, Candy. Um, and look at the persons that they have had in their lives. And you have to question a person who have had so many friends, and none of them ended, right. You have to kind of question that, you know. So things like that. Or maybe some people are just not friendship balanced. Some people are more or better at being a better family member. You know what I mean? Some people may be better at being family members, being a sister, being a brother. They may not have time for friendship. That's kind of me. That's kind of me. I don't friendships, it's just it takes a lot of commitment to be a friend. And that's another thing. Maybe you wanted too much in a friendship. And I think a lot of times, a lot of friendships that I have had in the past, I think they wanted way too much for me that I could possibly give at that point in time, because I had to figure out my own stuff. And I had to discover who I was, you know what I mean? And I had to find a family that I did not know. I knew their energy, I felt their energy, but I did not personally know them. I knew them spiritually, right? And sometimes there are a lot of reasons why people may not feel comfortable in relationship. Maybe you require and demand, maybe you're too damn demanding. And sometimes when a person is too demanding, it's really too hard to be a particular person's friend. And then you got to think about, why were y'all friends in the first place? Why were y'all friends in the first place? Maybe was the energy behind the friend. Maybe you all got together because of your enemy is my enemy and her enemy is your enemy. And then y'all got to, basically what I'm trying to say is y'all got together on the wrong purpose. Or maybe you developed this friendship out of an ex and y'all got together because y'all don't like each other's ex, because y'all had the same ex, So those are certainly not so good reasons to unite and have friendships. Okay, so you gotta look at that. Why were y'all friends in the first place? And I'm not. Am I going in order? Little bit. And is this 5? This is probably more than 5 than what I'm giving you. I said 5. Okay, whatever. And also you want to also view and look at about you guys' friendship, like when what are you gonna, well, I wouldn't tell people what are you gonna miss most about that person, but you can ask yourself that, because that's probably gonna be going through your mind, like, what do I miss most about this friendship? Fulfill that need. Don't just wait, you know what I mean? Fulfill that need. And I'm not saying that people should be lonely or you should be alone or you should just be like, I don't need no friends. I'm not telling you that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you need to heal before you jump into another friendship. I'm telling y'all, because you will attract the same type of energy that you might not have wanted in the first dang on place. Okay. Let's see, what else would be healing from a friendship? What else would you need to heal from a friendship? Let me see. Healing from friendships. Now I want to see based up off the things that what I've seen. Okay. Oh wow. Now I just went to Google, y'all. Everything I just told you all was off the top of my head. And I'm looking at Google to see what Google says. One second. Give me a second here. Let me try to look this up. Let's see what Google says. Oh, and also, this is what I forgot to do before I pull anything up. I typed it in, but I didn't pull it up, and I'm not going to look at it yet. It was this friendship. This is another question you want to ask yourself. Was this friendship toxic? Did this friendship bring anything to my life? You know, did I bring anything to that person's life? Did this person bring anything to your life? Did you bring anything to their life? Okay. That's something else you have to ask yourself again. Okay. All right. Let's see what Google says. Okay. And they have one, acknowledge your pain. Wow, I said that right. Grief is normal, right? Yeah, that I didn't say grief is normal, but they did say acknowledge your pain. I did say that. Practice how to mope in bed. It seems, and basically, I told you don't neglect. Well, they said don't neglect personal hygiene. They also said on Google easily to mope all day, get and take care of yourself. And I basically told you the same thing. I said get out the house. I said enjoy nature, experience life, do something that you normally wouldn't have done, occupied at that time. That's what I said. Okay. I didn't know it was that serious that if you were in a friendship, that you would stop taking care of yourself, you would stop washing your face and brushing your teeth. I thought that was kind of more lines of an intimate relationship for me, I would think, more or less. But a friendship, I guess that could happen also in the friendship. That's exactly what this article is stating. Well, at least this website is stated. I don't really know about that. I've never really had clients that ended friendships and they didn't take care of themselves and they didn't wash their butts or things like that. I didn't really know that, but okay, I guess it's possible. They also said about interpret your present happiness. I said that in so many words. Um they talk about easing your memory. I think this is really good. I think this is excellent. Easing your memory. Yes, I totally agree with that. They said about easing your memory. Because you don't want to set in and get depressed. So I agree with that concept. Yeah. They talk about exercise and go start a new gym membership. I didn't say membership gym or whatever. I just told you to get out. Get out, do something you weren't able to do before. Um, and then this article also says talk to someone. Yes, you certainly the article does talk about talking to a counselor, a life coach, me, or another friend. I don't necessarily think that talking to a friend is that beneficial because, like, if you all were in a circle of friends, I think that would drain that other person out to hear about how this person did this and how this ended and this and this and that. And then I also think it's unhealthy to take that attention that you have for that particular friend that you that was lost or ended or left, you know, to attach it onto another friend. I don't think that's healthy. So I don't necessarily agree with that. Okay. I think it would be draining because, draining to a friend, when I probably, as that friend, as that friend on the side, probably already told you that Destiny wasn't the best person to be a friend within in the first place. But I don't think that's a great idea. But okay, let's move on. Try a new group of friends. I don't agree with that because I think that you need to heal from this relationship before you move into another relationship, before you start a new friendship, because you don't want to attract the same type of energy because that's going to end too. And then you're going to be looking like you can't hold a friendship, or it's going to also look like you're attaching, it's like energy. You're attaching this particular or past energy. You're attaching the past energy from the previous friendship onto the new. So I don't necessarily agree with that. Okay, and they also says examine what went wrong in friendship. I said that. And the root of the toxic behavior, if there was any, that's what they said. If you feel issues you need to work on, okay, that's what. Yeah, now that's a great point. Yes. So if you are the process of elimination, then damn it, you need to work on yourself. You need to figure out why you can't keep friendships, why you can't keep a friend. And I mentioned it briefly. I touched on it just a tad bit. I didn't go into great detail because how important is it for you to understand what went wrong or what you did or what the other person is so you don't repeat the same mistakes, right? I thought that was a great point because I made that point as well. And if you ever done group therapy, I've done group therapy with some of my clients, and I find out, and I have found that many of my clients have the same dilemma. Is that they choose the wrong people to be in a relationship with. They choose the wrong people to be in a friendship with. And that is the number one issue. That's number one. The second issue is that they're not good friends to begin with, and they attract what they are. You know what I mean? So it's those top two that I found in a group that I've worked with in a group setting. Okay. All right, I think this is really good too. They in this particular article, they do talk about on this website. They do talk about check your emotional health. I think that is so true. Because platonic breakups can induce incredible amounts of grief. That is so true. That is so true. It is very important to check to find out because that's a loss. Nevertheless, now that might not be an intimate situation, but nevertheless, it's still a loss. And it can cause depression, upset, doubting yourself, believing in yourself, and actually moving on. And by the time you heal from this relationship, you want to be able to, a friendship, you want to be able to move into a new friendship, a healthier one, right? And not having that same pitfall of energy, heartbreak, and pain. And not, when you're in this new relationship, you're not constantly bringing up that particular person because nobody wants to hear about it. The same way it is in a intimate relationship. When you're moved on, nobody want to hear about you and your ex all the damn time. Who wants to hear that? Nobody. And so your new friend is not going to want to hear about how Bessie did you wrong and this and that. That's why I said I don't think it's necessarily as wise or really good to talk to a new friend about an old friend as much. Or a friend that is already in the picture. And for you to lean on them so much of that energy because it can be toxic. It could be draining for that other person. Okay. So that's all I have. I just wanted to briefly discuss that. And I thought it was pretty darn interesting about that. So anywho, thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to make a short video for you all. And thank you so much for spending your time with me because you could have been doing anything else in the world. And I would like to end this with my wonderful commercial. Thank you.
Death is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The cemeteries are full of people who've passed from a preventative illness. With the correct approach, you not only extend your chances of preserving your life, but you will improve the quality of your life with a natural approach. The earth provides energy healing herbs for the benefit of mankind.
Hello, I'm Amira Sankofa Kwali here at As Life Coaching Ministries. We're located at 1921 West Broadway. We've been in the healing business for over 20 years. To order my products, go to www.as314life.com. I'm available 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. No machine.
You're watching Dr. Amir Sankofa Kwele live. Make sure you stay tuned, hit that like button, and subscribe.